In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to use the DDD visual debugger under the virtual machine. It's not installed on our virtual machine, so you need to go to Synaptic, the package manager, type in your password, which is user. This is an interface that lets you install new packages and new software. The easiest way to do this for us is after the little spinning wheel steps. Go up to the text menu and type in DDD. This will be for the data display debugger. You'll see a number of items. Go to the checkbox, click Mark Installation, go to Apply. Tell it it's okay to install the software. Takes just a second. And it's done. Now you can exit the Synaptic Package Manager, which is under the Administrator menu. We're going to run DDD on a Fibonacci program, which is on our desktop. So we create a terminal window. We look to see where we are and move to the desktop with CD Desktop. We've already compiled the fib program. Now we just do DDD fib. The data display debugger pops up, and in this case the source code is in the same directory, so it'll actually show us the source code. Close all these extra windows that are kind of annoying. The small palette of buttons are used to navigate around the program. On the left-hand side we see where our program is. We can use this as a display, but it's not really that informed about the meaning of the program. We can select and click on different things in the program, but it really doesn't know what those things are. So we can click in the middle of a string, for example, or we can click on a procedure name or a variable name. The DDD program really doesn't know the difference about those. If we right-click, we can then do different things with the name that was clicked on. So for example, we can print about something, or we can set a breakpoint. Here we're going to set a breakpoint for main. What that means is that execution will stop inside the main procedure when the program is run, right where the stop sign is. The green arrow indicates where we are. We can now either step or use the next program to get to the next command line, or to the next line of our program. This interaction window down below here is where the commands are actually being sent to the GDB program. This is just an interface to GDB, which is a command line utility. So we're going to click next a couple of times here, and then we're going to finish executing the program. We can print out results. Again, here we're going to print out the value of result. This would be exactly the same as typing print result in the command line window. We can also say what the type of the result is, int, and we can also say display result. Display will cause a value to be updated and displayed every time that it's changed. The displays will appear in the top window up above. Now we can step or do next again, and eventually our program exits and finishes. We're just going to say continue, which means continue until the next breakpoint occurs. We can run the program multiple times in the debugger. Normally we would compile the program in between our different runs of the program for this. We would typically fix a problem, then go back and rerun it. The breakpoints will be preserved as long as we're within the debugger still. There are ways to be able to save common breakpoints across different sessions, but we're not going to go into that in this tutorial. What we're going to focus on now is the distinction between navigating across procedure calls and stepping into procedure calls. At this level, we're going to focus just at the source level. We're going to have to run the program again, and then what we're going to do is use the step and the next buttons to do two different things. Next will normally go to the next execution line. When we say step, we step into the procedure being called. So step program until it reaches a different line. Next goes through procedure calls. So next means that we don't do all of the different steps of whatever the putS function does. Step would mean that we do all of the things that putS does. So we don't want to debug putS, we don't want to debug scanf, none of those things. So we're going to step over the fib call, and our results are updated. I don't know if you noticed the display at the top. The result was updated from a garbage value to the actual value, 3. We're going to run it again now, and now we're going to use step. We don't want to do putS, we don't want to do scanf. but we do want to then step into fib. That means we go to the fib subroutine, and now we're stepping into fib again. We did another procedure call into fib, and again. So now we're inside fib, and in fact we've done 3 procedure calls to fib. DDD doesn't really have an interface to show you this, but what you can do is type the where command and see what the outstanding procedure calls are. So in this case, fib was called by fib, was called by fib, was called by main. There are different ways to navigate where you are within procedure calls. We can step to the next line, so if we step next here, we don't do the procedure calls of fib of n-2. We see here that we've exited a couple of procedures. We can also just type in commands like print n to print the current values of variables. So now we've exited, or we've called fib again. Now we're about to finish this routine or exit this routine. So we can call next if we want to do that. We can also say look up, in other words, go to our caller, look down, up, down. So in other words, fib was called at that point in main, and this is where we currently are. You can go up multiple procedure levels and down multiple procedure levels. The finish button means continue executing the current procedure until it exits. That doesn't work at the outer level, but the continue function, or the continue button, means continue until the program reaches another breakpoint. So finish is not meaningful in the outermost frame is the debugger way of saying that. Continue then lets the program continue execution. Again, you can rerun your program and debug things multiple times, display variables, modify them. There are a whole host of other commands that you can do inside GDB, but we're going to focus on the command line tool to be able to do those.